Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge Systems and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy, which is one of the premier institutions in India, and it offers examination coaching for UPSC CSC, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level and CLAT examination. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I take up international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session is regards to the DNA of the Hindu newspaper of today's, that is of 8th of February 2021. And throughout my session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the newspaper, which will be useful for the prelims perspective, wherein we will identify the factual, analytical, and conceptual questions for UPSC. And while you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing for the mains examination, your answers for the mains would be precise and concise, and you would score certainly higher marks in the mains examination. So, therefore, at AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis, this will help you to crack both prelims and mains of 2021. And before we get into the DNA of the newspaper, we would look at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day, it says that you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. So what is very important is, do not brood over things which is not going in your favor. Make sure that you are on the platform and you start from where you are, and then you can change the ending. And now we'll look at the DNA of the newspaper. And the news from the Hindu is that glacial burst. So we have a glacial burst in Uttarakhand, and 7 persons were killed and over 124 have been reported missing in the glacial burst on Nanda Devi, and which the glacier burst has triggered an avalanche, and the avalanche which has been triggered has caused flash floods in Rishiganga and Dhauliganga rivers, which are in the Chamoli district of Uttarakhand. So here the keyword is the glacier burst, and which has triggered avalanche and caused flash floods in Rishiganga and Dhauliganga rivers in Chamoli district. And this, by the Center's National Crisis Management Committee, this has been described as a glacial burst, and the Center's National Crisis Management Committee headed by Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba. And because of this glacial burst, the 900-meter long Tapovan tunnel of the NTPC, the work has been altered because of the rise in water level of, and a timely warning has been sent to the residents who are living in the downstream so that they can be evacuated and saved. Here, the work on the Tapovan tunnel and the residents have been saved by a timely warning. And when we look at the Rishiganga Hydel project, the work there has been with a capacity of 13.2 megawatts, and the NTPC Tapovan Vishnughat project, which is of 520 megawatt, and this is on the Dhauliganga, and both of the works have been totally stopped because it has been inundated. So the Rishiganga Hydel project and NTPC Tapovan Vishnughat project are the one which are totally, because of the glacial burst, the work has been altered, and the dams in Srinagar and Rishikesh have been emptied out. That means the water flow is high and the outflow has been taken into consideration to restrict or balance the inflow and outflow, and the flow from the Alaknanda, which Alaknanda, the Dauliganga is a tributary of Alaknanda, and we had this, or we have to focus on the rivers and the tributaries and the hydel projects, because it is part of the infrastructure development and part of the geography river system. And the glacier burst has happened, or it has taken place at Joshimath in Uttarakhand, and because of this there is a lot of destruction which has taken place. If you look at this is Nanda Devi, and here I am trying to focus or trying to make you understand with the map based how and which place the cloud burst has taken place, and then because of the cloud burst how the water, I mean causing of floods from the Dauliganga to the Alaknanda has taken place, and thereby the hydel projects have been disturbed or totally halted because it has been washed away, and the residents living on the banks of the river or the downstreams are being also affected, but they have been timely warning and they have been evacuated and rescued. And Dauliganga, which is a tributary of Alaknanda, again if you look at Dauliganga later on joins or it meets with Rishiganga. Dauliganga later on joins with Rishiganga, and this point is Nanda Devi. Dauliganga river and then Rishiganga here, and then it joins at Joshimata. And the cloud burst, the glacier burst has taken place at Joshimath, and then further it's traveling to Vishnu Prayag, and then next on the way it is Nanda Prayag and Rudraprayag, which is part of the Kedarnath or Devi Prayag again. So if you look at this, this is the path which you need to take it into consideration for the prelims examination of geography, river based system, which could be a probable question on the sidelines of the glacier burst in the Uttarakhand, that is at Joshimatha, and then trying to UPSC trying to focus on the rivers or the tributary of river Ganga, wherein the Dauliganga is a tributary of Alaknanda, and Dauliganga is one of the tributaries of the river Ganga also, and but it later merges into Alaknanda river. And now we will look at how the glaciers burst or the reasons of glaciers burst. A glacier can break due to multiple reasons. For example, like erosions or water pressure or avalanches of snow or rocks, and also because of the earthquakes. And because of these reasons, there is a possibility that the glacier burst can take place, and it can also happen whenever there is a massive displacement of water. Please do understand here, it can happen along with the erosion, water pressure, avalanches, and also earthquakes. The glacier burst also can happen when there is a massive displacement of water in the glacial area and when a large portion of an adjacent glacier collapses. So, when there is a displacement of water in the glacial area, then a large portion of the glacier collapses. When it does, definitely there is flash floods, and this creates a panic which could impact onto the life of life and also onto the property. And the glacier is located, if you look at this, glacier is located at the Nanda Devi sanctuary. This you have the Nanda Devi sanctuary. So this is for the geography map based questions for the prelims examinations. And if you look at, we also have experienced the flash floods in Uttarakhand in the year 2013, and now we are seeing the glacier burst in the Nanda Devi in February 2021. And if you look at here, the glacier burst which we have spoken that it was at the Joshimath is in a village called as Raini village of Chamoli in Garhwal Himalayas. Please do understand, this is again very crucial for prelims examination, because the glacier burst in Joshimatha, which is very specifically again in the Raini village of Chamoli in Garhwal Himalayas, and this glacier burst, as we discussed, has damaged the hydropower plant at NTPC Tapovan, and also in regards to the Rishiganga hydel projects, which had a capacity of 13.2 megawatts, and this has also damaged various bridges in the downstream. And then this next is the Dauli Ganga, which flows down to Vishnu Prayag, and further this Dauli Ganga, which is a river Alaknanda at this point, has washed away the under construction Tapovan Vishnughat hydro power project on the Rishiganga river. And then further this flash floods because of the glacier burst has flown down to the downstream, and it has reached Srinagar, and then we have seen the dams have been emptied so that the inflow is high, and to maintain the level of water in the dam, the outflow has been taken into consideration, and the flow further moves to Devprayag, and then to Rishikesh, and then to Haridwar. So this is the path of the glacier burst, and thereby it has caused a flash floods, and it has stopped, or it has caused destruction to the hydel power projects, and the rivers have been swollen, and thereby the downstream people or the residents of the downstream people have been taken into consideration so that they would be affected, and they have been an early warning, they have been evacuated safely. And we need to consider, while we are talking or while we are analyzing the glacier burst, we need to also talk about or try to understand the cloud burst of 2013. This is 2021. This in regards to the environment, disaster management, and in regards to the how the hydropower projects have been destructed because of the glacier burst. Now we will look at the another news which talks about the climate change impact, and because of the glacier burst, how the experts are talking about the impact, and that impact is pointed towards climate change by the experts. And because of the glacier melt or the glacial burst on Nanda Devi, the Rishiganga river has been flooded in Uttarakhand, and we have looked at that it has washed away two hydroelectric power projects, that is Rishiganga hydroelectric power project, and the other one is Tapovan project, and these two projects are on the Dauli Ganga river, which is a tributary of Alaknanda, and the environmental experts have attributed this glacier melt or burst to the global warming. Here we are again trying to focus the news or analyze the news, comparing it with the climate change, environment. So when we are talking about environment, it is climate change, and global warming is the reason which has been attributed by the environmental experts in regards to the Nanda Devi glacial burst. And according to the latest assessment report by the UN Intergovernmental Panel, on climate change, glacier retreat, and permafrost thaw, this UN Intergovernmental Panel has projected to decrease the stability of the mountain slopes and increase the number and area of glacier lakes. Please do understand this report, because it is an assessment report by the panel, that is United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on climate change, glacier retreat, and permafrost thaw, and this is projecting, or it has projected to decrease the stability of the mountain slopes, and increase the number and area of glacier lakes, so that any kind of cloudburst can be handled when the number and area of glacial lakes is increased, so that they have also projected to decrease the stability of mountain slopes. Please do understand here keywords: slopes, and then number and areas of glacial lakes. decrease the stability of the mountain slopes so that the gushing water will not impact or create lot of destruction to the existing hydroelectric project and also to the property and the lives of the people living on the river banks. And thereby they have also projected to increase the number and area of glacial lakes. And there is also a high confidence that a number and area of glacial lakes will continue to increase in most regions, and the new lakes will develop closer to steep and potential unstable mountain walls wherein lake outburst can be easily triggered. And why the UN intergovernmental panel has come up with the report that they are projecting to decrease the mountain slope and increase the number and area of the glacial lakes, because this can make sure that while we develop a closure steep and potential unstable mountain walls where lake outburst can be easily triggered. And thereby the assistant professor of glaciology and hydrology division has said that satellite and Google Earth do not show any glacial lake near the region, but there is a possibility that there is a water pocket in the region. These two keywords are very crucial for prelims and also for the analytical point of view, because the glaciology and hydrology division is making it very clear that by the satellite and Google Earth there is no, or it does not show any glacial lake. This is a keyword, but there is a possibility that there may be a water pocket. This is the keyword again, water pocket. So we need to understand the term what is water pocket. Water pockets are lakes inside glaciers, and these lakes which are inside glaciers known as water pockets may have erupted leading to this event. Which event? Glacial outburst at Nanda Devi. Please do understand that what the glaciology and hydrology division is trying to put forth the reasons for the glacial outburst and the rivers which have swollen, that there could be a possibility of water pocket in the region, that is the lakes which are inside glaciers, and this may have been erupted and it has led to the destruction along the Alaknanda. And climate change has driven, or it has caused, erratic weather patterns such as increased snowfall and increased rainfall and warmer winters, and this has led to the melting of lot of snow in the glaciers. And the glaciology and hydrology division has also focused on the keyword that is thermal profile of ice. This is another keyword which will be crucial for prelims perspective, thermal profile of ice. And the expert says that this thermal profile of ice is increasing. That means earlier temperature of ice was ranging between -6 to -20 degrees Celsius, but because of the climate change, now the thermal profile of ice has now come down to -2, and this is making very susceptible to the melting, and there is a possibility that the lakes inside the glaciers can erupt and can lead to this glacier burst. So this analysis is crucial for prelims as well as mains examinations, because it is pertaining to the climate change and also in regards to the global warming. And the assessment report of the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel has to be focused, because it has projected a very crucial information that it would wish to decrease the stability of the mountain slope and increase the number of areas of glacial lakes. And here what is crucial, another keyword is water pocket and thermal profile of ice. And the another news is in regards to the defense, that is defense purchases which Ukraine is looking from India, and Ukraine is looking to procure military hardware from India, even though it wanted or it is in the process of deepening its efforts in the Indian defense market. And this is happening between Ukraine and India. And from Ukraine, it is Ukroburonprom, which is an umbrella corporation of Ukrainian state defense company, having the military hardware or procurement from India, that is from the defense ministry. And two sides, that is Ukraine and India, are discussing a range of proposals to take forward, not only in regards to the military hardware purchase, but also moving forward in bilateral cooperation. And this bilateral cooperation proposals are being taken up at bilateral working group meetings between the defense ministries, and that would take up in the month of April 2021. And Ukraine has signed 4 agreements worth 70 million US dollars, and the agreement, that is 4 agreements, are in regards to the sale of new weapons and also in regards to the maintenance and upgrades of existing weapons in service with the Indian Armed Forces. And this is a very good sign that Ukraine is looking to procure the military hardware, and this is providing a sense that it is enhancing the self-reliance of India in defense or Atmanirbhar Bharat efforts, trying to focus onto Indian manufacturing units and trying to support them financially, that is support Indian manufacturing units financially, so that India would be strong enough or self-reliant in regards to defense equipments. And another news which is pertaining to the access to the mental health helpline, access to the mental health helpline. And in regards to the mental health access, there is a report by Social Justice and Empowerment Ministry, and according to the report of Social Justice and Empowerment Ministry, 70% callers for the helpline or mental health helpline rehabilitation, 70% of them are men who are calling up for the mental health rehabilitation helpline numbers. And this is as per the report of the Social Justice and Empowerment, and this helpline is called as Kiran helpline, and this is important for prelims examination, 180059900019. And this Kiran helpline, this helpline is of the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, DEPWD, of the ministry, that is Social Justice and Empowerment. And the Kiran helpline has been launched on September 7th 2020 by Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Thawarchand Gehlot. Here you need to focus on two keywords, that is department and ministry. So if you look at the department, it is the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities. But if you focus on the ministry, it is under the Social Justice and Empowerment Ministry. So you need to have a clear demarcation about the number of departments in the Indian government and the number of ministries, so that when you are aware of this, you will have a clear understanding about how you need to focus the departments and ministries for the prelims as well as mains perspective as a civil servant aspirants. And the report has come up saying that majorly the challenges faced by the callers, wherein the callers out of 170% are men, and the challenges which are met by the callers is anxiety, which constitutes 28.5%, depression 25.5%, Pandemic related challenges 7.8 percentage, suicidal tendency 2.8 percentage, substance abuse 3.4, and others, that is miscellaneous, 32 percentage. So anxiety, depression is the largest chunk, and then suicidal also is there. And when you focus again this report, the challenges, when you compare it with total India, 70 percentage, and then when we segregate it further into the zones, most of the calls were from north zone, constituting of the entire 100%. It is 40.32 percentage from the north zone. From the west zone, the callers were 27 percentage. From south, it was 16.99, close to 17 percentage, and from east it was 11.28 percentage, and from northeast, which is the lowest, that is 4.33 percentage, the callers were in regards to the challenges they have faced, or it is in regards to the mental health rehabilitation helpline which were used by the zones. The top is north, followed by west, south, east, and northeast. And there is another news which talks about impact of green verdicts. This is a keyword which is again crucial for UPSC prelims as well as mains examination. Impact of green verdicts. So you need to understand what does this term called as green verdict means, and how the Niti Aayog is seeking or trying to keep a track on the green verdicts and the impact of the green verdicts on the economy. So we will look at what the Niti Aayog is actually looking into it or trying to study and examine. It is Niti Aayog, which is government's apex think tank. It has commissioned a study, and this study is to examine the unintended economic consequences. This is a key phrase. Niti Aayog has commissioned a study to examine the unintended economic consequences. Please do understand, economic consequences of the judicial decisions, that is by the Supreme Court or High Court, or it could be National Green Tribunal. So what are the unintended economic consequences by the judicial decisions that have hindered and stalled very big projects on environmental grounds? So therefore, when we are talking about environmental, again we are focusing this news from environment, from prelims as well as mains perspective, how the Niti Aayog, that is the government's apex think tank, he has commissioned a study so that it would examine the unintended economic consequences of the green verdicts which have hindered and stalled the projects or big projects which the union government has taken an initiative, and these have been hindered or stalled by the judicial decisions, especially on the grounds that is environmental clearance. And the project taken up by the Niti Aayog will examine the 5 major projects taken up by the union government which have been impacted by the judicial decision of the Supreme Court or the National Green Tribunal. The keyword is the judicial decisions which have been taken, or the green verdicts, by the Supreme Court and the National Green Tribunal. And this document suggests that the judgments of the Supreme Court or NGT that negatively have impacted major infrastructure projects, this don't adequately consider. That means the judgments made by the Supreme Court or NGT, what the document by the Niti Aayog which has been commissioned to study or to examine the unintended economic consequences, what the document says is that the judgments negatively impact major infrastructure projects. They don't adequately consider the economic fallout. That is, it does not impact the loss of jobs or the revenue. That is what the document is talking about, which is by the Niti Aayog. And the brief or the document or the note says that the judiciary needs to take into account, while it is coming up with the verdict, in regards to the environment or projects, it has to look into or take into account environment, equity, and economic consideration while deciding the cases. And the Supreme Court or the judiciary need to institutionalize a mechanism for the judgment which would have the environment, equity, and economic consideration. The keywords here are all the three that the judiciary needs to take into account: environment, equity, and economic consideration is the point which is mentioned in the brief which the judiciary has to take into consideration. And by going ahead with institutionalizing a mechanism for it, it will create a public discourse among the policy makers, and this public discourse among the policy makers would promote an economically responsible approach by judiciary in the verdicts by the Supreme Court or High Court or by the NGT. Please do understand here the keyword public discourse. This is the point which has been focused in the brief, that if the Supreme Courts would get into institutionalizing a mechanism and take into account environment, equity, and economic consideration while they are deciding the cases or the verdict of the case, thereby there would be a public discourse, and this would promote economically responsible approach by judiciary. That means the apex or the Niti Aayog is talking about or is trying to send a message to the judiciary that while delivering the cases or while the verdicts have been delivered by the Supreme Court, the judiciary has to follow an approach that is an economically responsible approach. The judiciary has to follow is the mention in the document of Niti Aayog, which it has constituted to study the unintended economic or consideration onto the environmental projects. And this plans to do this by, that means the public discourse can happen by interviewing people who have been affected by the closure of the project and by environmental campaigners and by various experts interviewing and assessing the business impact of the closure, so that Niti Aayog will look into the environment, equity, and economic consideration of the projects. Therefore, it will not have major impact negatively on the infrastructure project. At the same time, have or try to talk or interview people through the public discourse by having an interview with the one who have been affected because of the closure of the project, discuss with the environmental campaigners, discuss with experts, and also have interview with the business impact because of the closure of the projects. And the project to be analyzed includes, that is, the 5 projects which the government has taken into consideration is the construction of an airport in Mopa in Goa. So here, in regards to Mopa Airport, the Supreme Court in the year 2019 has suspended environmental clearance, but it has lifted in January again 2020 after imposing several conditions. And the second one is in regards to iron ore mining in Goa. Here, in this case, in 2018, the Supreme Court has quashed 88 mining leases for violation of mining procedure, and the Supreme Court has asked the state government to issue fresh leases to the 88 mining. And the third one is shutting down of Sterlite copper plant in Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. If you look at this, it is the Supreme Court in December 2020 has rejected a proposal which was made by Vedanta to operate its closed copper plant, that is Sterlite copper plant. But the Madras High Court and the Tamil Nadu government have ordered the closure of the plant, that is Sterling copper plant. And the fourth one is the decision by the NGT involving in the sand mining. And it was in the year 2013, the National Green Tribunal has suspended sand mining operations, and thereby the National Green Tribunal has directed the environmental clearances should be obtained from authorities. Here, the NGT has come into existence and it has suspended the sand mining operations in Uttar Pradesh. And the fifth one is the construction activities in the national capital regions. Here also it is the NGT, that is National Green Tribunal, has imposed a ban on construction activities, but it is based on specific instances. And these are the projects to be analyzed by the Niti Aayog, and for that the Niti Aayog, a government's think tank, has constituted a study to have or to assess the environmental impact assessment, especially focusing on the economic or unintended economic consideration. And this information is crucial from environment, infrastructure development, and also again in regards to the government's apex think tank. How the Niti Aayog actually focuses or looks into the projects that it has to move forward, and how the Niti Aayog is talking about even judiciary. So these are the keywords which you need to focus and try to evaluate how best you can use it for the prelims and mains examination. And I hope the entire discussion was an informative, knowledgeable one and useful for both prelims as well as mains examination. And I would say a very big thank you and a good luck to you all. And then do maintain consistency, stick to your schedule, and take care of your physical health and mental health. And do not forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe the AKS IAS Academy English Medium YouTube channel. And also have access to the website and Telegram link of AKS, that is Advanced Knowledge System. And also make sure that you are following the consistencies and then stick to your schedule. And then see you tomorrow with the DNA, that is daily news analysis. And then till then, thank you, goodbye, and then take care.